So it's been a little bit of time since I did the last show, but I did one little 1 month ago. Partially reason why it's I've just been extremely busy, folks. I do apologize. I love to talk to you, to bring my message to you, to discuss topics that are in the news and give you my perspective, and hopefully you guys miss me a bit and look really for that perspective. Hopefully you enjoy the guests that I have on the show, all of the above. But just been really, really, really busy with a number of things. So one, of course, many of you know that I've been working with a good friend, one of my wife's best friends, Maya Rockymore Cummings, the widow of Elijah Cummings, and she's running. If you don't know, she's been all over everything from uh, the View and what is it Tracy Maddox? I can't. The Maddox Show. I apologize if I messed up her name. But just on a whole lot of different shows, nationally, locally. Recently, the Rolling Stone magazine, this most recent issue, I think of March, dated March 3rd, they followed her around in January as she was running, for the special election, and just got her perspective on a lot of things. So if you get a chance, check that out. It's actually, I know you can, excuse me, I know you can get that on, you can currently get it on Facebook, I'm sure, on social media, but you can, of course, go to rollingstone.com, I'm sure, and find it as well. But great article, really good article. They did a good job of how they covered her. So we were pleased about that. But but yeah, so I've been really, really working hard on that, and we still have the April 28th primary election here to get her that seat. So we're really working, cramping it up, strategizing, doing a whole lot of good stuff to make sure that she's successful and that the people of the seventh district get a worthy candidate, a worthy servant to lead them in Congress. So we want to continue that legacy of Elijah. We know that the two of them shared a lot of the same values. As husband and wife had many discussions on what was facing the nation and how to correct those things or how to improve upon those things. And so we want to continue that. Maya is an intelligent, just bright woman who's been doing a lot of work on Congress for over 20 years now. So we just want to make sure again that message is known throughout the seventh district as well as the nation. If you're looking to donate to help her, and this is important too, folks. I share with people that it's voting is one part, but also donating to candidates that we want to make sure get in is probably even more important because to run these campaigns, those prices are getting higher and higher, and when you are up against companies or candidates who can get corporate sponsors, what we're looking not to really have happen, right? Then that means that they need those grassroots dollars even more. Commercial, advertisement, staff, uh, just getting your message out. It costs money. And so we definitely want to, if you want to donate, if you can donate, and we're not, any amount is helpful. Any amount is helpful. The more, of course, that's more helpful. But uh, really and truthfully, no donation is frowned upon, is looked down upon. We appreciate all donations. So with that, Maya, Maya, for Congress, Congress.com. So, yep, MayaForCongress.com. You can go there. You can see more about her platform there. You can learn more about her on there, as well as hit the donate button to donate to that campaign on there also. So, I hope you do that. Uh, Other piece here in Maryland of the nation, the world right now is coronavirus up to their head. To their we are hearing a lot about it. Three new cases have arrived on the shores of Maryland. Governor Hogan made an announcement the other day, and it seems like a lot of people have already just started taking super precautions, not shaking hands, all types of things, wearing masks. And again, I kind of mentioned, I don't know if it was on the show or when I've spoken about this, but I just want people to also be mindful that the flu has killed more people than corona. The flu, yes, the flu has killed more people than coronavirus. And when I say more, I mean a hell of a lot more, not just a few more, but a hell of a lot more. So let's keep everything in context. Let's not worry ourselves too much. Let's just practice good hygiene, right? Cover your mouth. Typically it's better to cover your mouth with the pit of your elbow, more like this. If you're watching me on YouTube, you can see what I'm doing. And washing those hands, you know, washing your hands. I mean, it just sounds so basic, but I watch guys go to the bathroom and come out the stall and they just walk right by the faucet. And God knows where they put their hand after that. But I mean, people don't just have sometimes good hygiene. So we can combat a lot of this, or at least minimize a lot of this with just better hygiene. So yeah, wash those hands. And I saw something that if you wash your hands for 60 seconds, just eliminates more bacteria, more things on your hands. So the longer you wash, the better as well. Keep some lotion or something, some shea butter or something close by you, so you can you know hydrate those hands or moisturize your hands afterwards. But yes, please be cautious. Wash the hands, but don't lose your mind over this. A few other things want to definitely talk about, and then we'll get into today's show. But want to take a moment of silence for Nathaniel Woods. Nathaniel Woods, for those of you who don't know, was someone who had been falsely accused of murder in Alabama, and it was an appeal. He was sentenced to execution, where his original sentence was life in prison. But then later it was execution. Then we found out later that he actually did not commit the crime, and but had received his execution date. Um, it was then he actually got a stay on execution that was then later overturned, and sadly on yesterday he was actually executed. So I want to talk about that because there are so many. I want you guys to, if you haven't seen, I think it's Just Mercy. It's the name of the movie with Michael B. Jordan, and Jamie Foxx. Very strong, very strong movie. Something similar happens in that movie as well, and it's a real, true story with a much happier ending than Nathan Woods. But I encourage all that haven't seen that to go and see that as well. There are some other things on Netflix, of course, the Central Park Five, and some other things on Netflix that I think are important for us to view, so that we can better understand what's going on in our criminal justice system. Here in Baltimore, my good friend, someone who I love, Marilyn Mosby, who's the state's attorney here, uh, just convicted Keith Davis. For those of you who don't know who Keith Davis is, he was also recently um, convicted. The conviction is very new this week to 50 years in prison. And I wanted to start off with the whole piece about Marilyn being one of my friends and what her position is here in the city, because I believe that my sister is a true fighter for equal justice. I believe that she is and has put herself uh, on the line in the crosshairs to because she believes in what's right. That said, I have some other friends who are tireless, tireless activists and freedom fighters who are on the opposite side of Maryland. My good brother Boone, my good sister Tia Hamilton, both who are fighters for uh, prison reform, but both who are strong advocates of doing what is right, as again relates to our justice system. And they're on opposite ends of this spectrum. Um, I'm one to believe that I don't know enough about the case of Keith Davis. I do want to actually sit down with both parties, with Maryland, and find out why she felt they had enough evidence to and wanted to move forward with the case. And I also want to speak more to Brother Boom and Brother Tia to really get a better understanding of why they believe that he's been railroaded. Because we know that I can't walk close-eyed into this, because we do know that there have been many who have been railroaded, who the evidence did not stand up, and people's lives have been changed dramatically to the point of death. Um, as I mentioned previously with Nathaniel Woods. However, that being said, we do also know that there are some that are, that have committed the crime, and they then need, um, on some level at least, to pay that price. The argument of what that level is, of what that price is, but so that we don't have chaos, we do need law and order in some perspective, if you will. So I am one who I try to be objective, especially when I don't know what the real evidence and details of the case are. Like I said, I have friends on both sides of this that are obviously on this, are extremely on different sides. One who has a position as state's attorney in her office of moving forward on cases like this and critiquing them and seeing if the evidence is there to bring it forward, to move it forward to a trial or some type of charge, indictment. And then I have friends, like I said, on the other side who are definitely activists and freedom fighters for those who can't stand up for themselves, and uh, helping them to get through being railroaded or charges that don't add up. Um, the ironic piece here is I think that when I hear my good friends on the activist side speak of Maryland, it bothers me because there has been evidence. There is obvious evidence of her and her conviction to do what's best and to really try to equal the scales, balance the scales of justice. She's someone who came out one of the first, if not the first, who came out around the nation and said that she would not have her office pursue those charges of marijuana convictions. She would not have convict on marijuana any longer, and she caught hell from conservatives and other uh, prosecutors around the country who didn't like that stance. But her point was one that's not equal in the amount of arrests that are made. They're primarily black and brown communities. They're over police communities, and we are not actually bringing cases equally on both sides, though there is proof that both sides actually engage in the sale and use on an equal platform. And that was huge. Other prosecutors around the country start to follow suit. That's powerful. That counts for a number of us that will not actually see the inside of a prison, folks, that won't get railroaded, that won't sit in, and even those who would get perhaps would have gotten off had they been arrested. They don't have to. There's a cost to that. They don't have to worry about the cost of legal costs, they don't have to worry about bail money. They don't have to worry about those things. That is a huge step in the right direction. In addition, and I'm going in on this and I haven't gotten to what I want to talk about on the show. But in addition to that, there is another move that she did. We had several corrupt police officers here in the city, and this is commonplace around the country. But we do know that Baltimore had a federal investigation where they pointed out this is one of the most fraudulent police forces in the nation, along with Chicago and some others. And so, what does that mean? So, we do know the police have historically planted evidence and falsely accused uh, uh, falsely accused people of crimes that they didn't commit, and like I said, planted evidence to kind of help their case. And so, because we've had these fraudulent, she had her office identified officers who were notorious, as well as those uh, who had question marks, serious question marks of their character and their practices. And anyone that was on any of those cases, Maryland has gone already to the governor's office to have those cases not only looked at but suspended. Suspended. Why? Because she did not trust the evidence in those cases to feel comfortable about upholding those that were convicted to the time or the time in which they are to serve. She didn't feel comfortable with that. That, folks, is fucking huge. And she caught hell around the country again on people, and right here in the city, and talked about that, and how she doesn't know what she's doing. So I'm torn when on the other end we have somebody like Keith Davis who could have been railroaded. I don't want to, I don't know the case. He could have been someone who uh, officers did some of the same thing with too. Um, but when certain activists and whatnot, when they speak out against Maryland as if she is the worst of all these prosecutors, if she is the garbage of the garbage, uh, I have to stand up and protect my sister at the same time. Like, look, you know, being a prosecutor means that you do have to put somebody in jail. And hopefully, if we have a prosecutor who really believes and is really trying to do the right thing, which I do believe we have, then she's going to make sure, or he's going to make sure, that they have good evidence, that their case is that the person that they are trying to put in jail is the perpetrator of the crime, and if so, we have to respect and move forward with those cases and hope that she can get convictions, or he. In this case, she. Um, I'm one again. I'm right on this fight as well. I don't want people to go to jail or that have not committed a crime. I don't want people to even be arrested that have not committed a crime. And at the same time, I don't want just black and brown people that are equally committing that are committing crimes as equal as whites to be the only ones getting arrested and going to jail for the same crime, even if they did the damn crime. I want it to be a fair and equal justice system that goes after all criminals and puts all those that have actually done the crime, punish those. But those who didn't, I want them to have justice. I want them to have reform. I want to be an advocate for them, for us, so that because it could end up on my front door. I'm not protected or bulletproof or you know I don't have any type of special forces around me other than the energy of the creator, like all of us, that can protect me from any of this either. So I want to make sure that it's right. But we had a prosecutor before her who didn't give a damn about any of this, right? He probably told them to overpopulate, police over to go in black communities even more so. Lock even more of us up. Because that's the sentiment around the country. So we have to still stand up for our sisters and our brothers that are doing good work. And if we have issues with them, let's go rap with them. Let's go talk to them directly. Not have a yelling match, but have a real dialogue on how we can work better together. I talked to a bunch of attorneys and they talk bad about my sister Marilyn. And I say to same to them, like, look, you know what? Why don't you give some free fucking hours and go talk to some of these cats that get locked up? They have these defense attorneys that are just overworked, and some of them just don't give a damn. And why don't you give some free hours to a client? Pick a client, got picked up for something. And just one a week. Don't overwhelm yourself. Just one a week. If you need to take off, do every other week. One a month. We got enough attorneys, black attorneys, and just attorneys in general in the city to really take a dent, a major fucking dent out of the cases that have very little attention with people who are probably innocent, who an attorney could go in and ask for bail and perhaps come up with a good reason, especially for first time offenders, on why they shouldn't be sitting in jail for nothing, or for these petty crimes and get continuances and continuances and continuances. Come on. So we can all do more to make the system better. Can all do fucking more to make the system better. And so I'm urging everybody